we're talking about making the skull out of clay. We're going to use 2 pinch bowls. They're going to be a ½ a pound each, so a total of 1 pound of clay to make this. Of course, this is my demo piece, so it's not the best in the world, but get you the basic idea of what to create and make in our project. Really what I'm looking for in this project here, you guys are working on it, is how well you follow the directions that are laid out in this video, how creative you can be to get your skull across. I do recommend a couple reference materials, like a couple images of some. You can put the bottom of the skull in there, you can just have the top, it's up to you. How are you gonna finish it? You're gonna leave it white? Are you gonna decorate it, make it like a sugar skull? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna sculpt and shape it? Are you gonna make it look really realistic? Are you gonna make it more cartoonish? Are you gonna make it more personalized? I leave it open to you as long as it's a skull. And it's out of 2 pinch bowls and a ½ a pound of clay. I cannot wait to see your skull and what you make. So, no further ado, let's watch the video and let's get started. Going to have 1 pound of clay. Each ball is going to be a ½ a pound. So I'm beginning to make my clay into each piece into a nice round ball. That's how I start the whole process. Then I'm going to make pinch bowls. Remember, you're going to push in, go as till you feel pressure in the back of that palm and begin to pinch and squeeze. We're making shallow, wide pinch bowls. So they're going to be nice and shallow and wide. So they're ready to go for creating and making the skull shape you need, but they got to be kind of round in shape to start off with. So you make 2 pinch bowls that are shallow and wide. So you can switch hands, get both thumbs in there to kind of pinch them out and make it nice and wide.
Pas de soleil, 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 pas de soleil.
As I'm finishing up my last pinch bowl, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double check them both and make sure the lips match. That way I have something to score and slip together. Also remember, make sure the lips are nice and thick so you have something to join together. Once you have both bowls made, you're going to score and slip them. Make sure the lips are a little bit thick as we talked about before. You're going to score and slip both your bowls. Now, before you start this whole process of scoring and slipping, make sure you let your bowls rest a bit so they're a little bit firmer. You can use a hairdryer to stiffen them up a bit. Now, once I'm done scoring, I can either apply slip or I can take a brush with some water on it and put it on there because I've scored it really well, and those little particles will turn into slip on the clay itself. One thing I'm going to make sure I'm doing here is I kind of press the bowl together. Press both of them together and begin to blend that seam together. Press and blend, press and blend. Get a nice round spherical shape is what I'm going for. As I'm working on my piece, if I have any gaps or little divots, stuff like that, I want to make it nice and smooth, I can fill it in with clay to make sure it's ready to go on to the next step. Once I'm done getting the basic shape, I'm going to begin to put the eye sockets into my piece. Use my knuckle, get a nice round piece, then go back in with my thumbs, get to make them a little bit wider. And I kind of mark where I want to put my nose. And I'm going to work on cutting out the bottom so I can kind of get the shape I want to as well. And then kind of blend and smooth the inside. I'm kind of just working on those eye sockets a bit, getting them kind of look like the skull, getting the basic shape of what a skull looks like. I have my phone there with my image, kind of use as a mimic to go along with. I'm going to make a just top of the skull, so I'm just kind of working the shape right now, and eventually I'll come back in and remove and cut off that part is what I'm going to do. But right now, just working on the eye sockets and getting the basic shape of the face. Cutting out the eyes, so I come back in there, smooth out the inside seam a little bit more, and get more of the shape I want the skull to look like. You do not have to cut the eyes out if you don't want to, but it's just for me to help smooth the basic shape. That's really what I want to do. But I leave it up to you. You can decide how you want to finish off that part of the skull. Once I'm kind of done shaping the eyes, I'm going to come back in and get ready to cut the nose out. Some people say it's like an upside down heart shape, but you can kind of go back in there, cut that out, remove it, or you can add lines in there. You decide how you want that nose to be. I'm just going to kind of work it, model and shape what I want to do. And I'm just kind of coming here, getting the more of the shape, where the eye sockets are, get a paddle the shape, get it more of a skull shape is what I'm trying to do there. Once I have the shape the way I want to, I'm not going to cut off part of it to kind of work on that jawline a bit and get it kind of the shape I want it to be. Just cutting out certain pieces, modeling and shaping it, trying to get that skull shape to kind of look more like I want it to. Use a paddle to help flatten it out to shape it. Kind of just keep working my piece around to get that shape of the skull the way I want it to look. To add my teeth, I'm using a round loop tool to kind of give me a basic uniform shape, and I come back in, define it more to make it look the way I want it to. Here I'm coming back in, just kind of shaping it more, working on the eye shapes, kind of doing that. I can come back in, add a little bit of clay to them to make those top parts of those eye sockets stand out more, make it more pronounced, begin to give it more three-dimension. A lot of this is modeling and shaping, looking at reference material, kind of guiding along with what you're doing. It takes practice. I mean, it's not something that's easily going to be done the first time. You might make a mistake. You might have to restart over. You might make more than one skull. You just kind of work it and kind of practice getting the shape you need it to be. If I ever need my clay to get firm up, you can use a hairdryer to help stiffen it up a bit, as you see me here doing with my piece. If it's just a little bit soft, I just need to use a hairdryer, stiffen it up. Especially if I don't have time to let it rest. Gonna keep taking some patience, keep working the shape of your piece to get to look like a skull. Keep looking at that reference material as I stated before, look at what you're doing, kind of guide the shape, blend and smooth everything together and make sure it follows along as best you can with your reference and try to really kind of make the best skull you can make. For the refinement of the skull, I'm coming in with that rubber shaper to help define certain more features around the teeth, give it more of a defined look that I want to kind of use it to maneuver, smooth away clay, even use a ribbon tool to kind of remove clay, kind of define it more, get more of the shape I want it to be. And keep working on that shape of that skull. It takes time. As I'm shaping my skull to help smooth the certain seams together, I can come back over there with a damp brush to kind of smooth certain parts, go back in with my rubber shaper, smooth it some more, go back in with my damp brush, kind of smooth over some features, go back in, clean up a little bit more to kind of basic shape I want my piece to be. When I get done building my skull, get to the basic shape, I'm either going to sign it with my chop or sign it with a pencil or some other tool to put my initials in it, and then I know my piece is done and it's ready to get fired.